Good evening and welcome to the local news. I'm Dick Murphy and I'll be your host for the next 60 minutes. For those who are tuning in right now, we're starting this show. I might as well get it out there. I'm not too happy. I just found out about it. We usually start at 6 o'clock on Tuesday nights. We're starting this week with our school committee candidates forum at 5:30. Is that correct now?
That's correct.
Because the selectmen are starting earlier. Okay. But I want to point out that this show will be seen on Wednesday night and Thursday night from 7 to 8 on the channel that we're usually on. So if you missed the first half, if you tune in at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, I just got the word, you'll see the selectmen in action. And I'm not too happy, but you can't bump them. So just so you know, we will be on 5:30 to 6:30. Is that correct,
that's
Joe?
right.
Okay. On Tuesday night only, and if you tune in halfway through the show, you can see the show in its entirety on Wednesday and Thursday nights, 7 to 8, correct?
Yes.
Is that all right with
Yes.
you, Randy?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we won't bump you off the program right away.
All right,
We'll wait
that
till
works.
it's halfway through. Okay. I'm going to introduce very, very quickly my 5 school committee candidates and then get into some questions, and we'll proceed as normal. Joe Soares, you are a candidate for
School
committee, and you are not an incumbent.
I am not, sir.
Okay, I'll come back to you for the first question shortly. Our next person is Kate Pena Enochian. Did I get that right?
Enochian, yeah.
And she is a challenger, or is a candidate, but not an incumbent. And then we have the old grizzled veterans. That's not the way to introduce you, is it, Deborah?
Nice going, Dick.
All right, okay. No, the two
You owe me
incumbents.
for that one.
The two incumbents are next in the lineup here. That would be Deborah Sobany. How many terms have you been on?
This, just one term.
Oh, just one term?
Just one
Oh, I
term.
thought it was longer
I've
than that.
gotten a lot done in one term.
So you're going for re-election?
Yes, I am.
Okay, okay. And George Stalinsky, who I've known for many years, very active with youth sports, as I recall.
Very much
some
so.
time ago. And you are also an incumbent running for a second term?
Second term.
They're both 3-year terms, okay. And this is Randy Yanoff. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
All right. And Randy is a challenger
Yes.
for the school committee. So we have 3 challengers and 2 incumbents running. So we should have a good session here. I'm splitting the first 2 questions. I'll start with you, Joe, and then when...
Did you want us to introduce ourselves?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
quite all
Well, that's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to go quickly so they'll know who's on. And no, you'll get a minute each on these questions. Okay, we'll settle down here. Well, all right. Why don't we start over there with... I'm looking for, in the first question, fairly quick, I just want a little bit of a background. I'm splitting it between question 1 and 2. Question 2 is why you want to run and so forth. Don't get into any of that in the first. I just let the people know, you know, what education you have, what your occupation is, years lived in Stoughton. Do you have kids in school now, or did you have kids in school? Just some basic little facts, okay, just so people will know. Okay, so why don't we start down there with you, Joe?
Okay. My name is Joachim Joseph Soares. I lived in Stoughton for 41 years. I've been married for 47 years. We raised 2 wonderful children, and I graduated from Stonehill College with a Bachelor of Science degree, and I'm retired.
What year did you graduate from Stonehill? I'm a Stonehill grad, too.
You are. I graduated in '81, but I'll tell you one thing. I started in 1960.
That's the year I graduated.
So you and I would have graduated the same, except that I did it the long route.
Ah, you did, right. Okay, very good. Good school, huh?
It is a very good school.
Very much so. Kate, can we go first names here?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Just some basic stuff like you did that's just the way I wanted it, as you
Okay.
did it, Joe.
My name's Katie Pena Enochian, and I've lived in Stoughton for a little over 10 years. I have 4 children. 3 are in the Stoughton schools currently right now. And I graduated from Norwood High School and went to Blue Hills Regional am a cosmetologist. And is there anything else you want me to say?
No, how long did you say you lived in Stoughton?
Just over 10 years.
Oh, okay. All right. Deborah, just basic facts there.
My name is Deborah Sovany, and I'm running for re-election to the school committee. I've lived in Stoughton for 23 years. I have a daughter that went all the way through Stoughton schools and is in college now. And I graduated from Syracuse University cum laude. I've done graduate work towards a master's in architecture at the Boston Architectural College. I have been lecturing at Harvard on museum design since 1991, and I'm a town meeting rep. I have been on the Redevelopment Authority and other town boards.
Okay, very good. Judge?
Oh, it's my turn, I guess. Okay,
Yep.
George Dolinsky, running for re-election for the school committee. I'm a resident of Stoughton for over 40 years. I've been actively involved with various organizations, such as being a town meeting rep for almost 35 years, on the finance committee for 9 years, council on aging for 9, conservation commission for 9. Been involved with Stoyak for 41 years. Currently, for the last 14 years, been program director of the basketball program, which is the largest sports program in town, and had a chance to give back to the community because I'm taking from the community.
You haven't done much for the town, have you, Judge?
Not very much. Not very much.
Mr. Stoughton, I think we should call you.
No, don't do that. There's other
Okay.
people like
Good
that have been
job.
around a lot longer.
Randy Yanoff.
Hi, my name's Randy Yanoff. I've lived in the town for 41 years.
Really?
Yes, grew up in the town, went through the elementary schools, everything. My kids now go, my daughter's in the middle school, my son is in the Gibbon School. They all went to the same schools that I went to. I teach martial arts. I also work at North End Motors. Grew up in this town, love this town, played sports in this town. Very much into seeing this town grow.
Okay, very good. Kids in school,
Yeah, kids are, my son's in 4th grade at the Gibbon School, my daughter's in 8th grade in the middle school.
okay. Now, we'll start with Kate, okay, on this? All right. You're watching me on this now, Joe. Make
I
sure.
am, sir.
Okay. I want to kind of split this question. It's not much of a split. There are 2 incumbents here, Deborah and George, and there are 3 challenges. So again, we're going to start with you, Joe, correct?
No,
I'm
we'll
sorry,
start with
Kate.
Kate.
For the challenges, I want to ask you why you are running for school committee, and when I come to the incumbents, I want to ask them why do they feel that they should be re-elected? And not a whole big long list, but I mean, what is the reason you are both seeking re-election? And I'm very curious as to find out, well, we'll start with you, Kate, one of the 3 challenges, why you are interested in being on the school committee. And normally we don't have many running for school committee over the years. I've been around the town 100 years, I guess. And usually it might be somebody running for re-election or whatnot, but to have 2 incumbents and now 3 challenges, I'm curious as to what motivates you to seek election.
Well,
Are you satisfied with what you see up there, or?
well, I wouldn't be running if I was.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Over 10 years ago, when I did move to Stoughton, it was because of the school systems that Stoughton has. So I've seen a decline, and that's why I'm running for school committee. I just want to make sure that our children have the best that they can have. I believe that the children do need to have an advocate watching out for their needs so that they can succeed in life. And
Did you say you think it's declined, the quality of the system? Did I read you right?
Yes, I believe that when we first moved to Stoughton, everyone was pushing the schools. They were so great, and
Okay.
it's changed.
How do you notice that with your children?
My children are in the Stoughton schools right now.
Right.
And my son was there when we first moved there. And when he went through the schools, he had a lot more services provided to him. So
Give us an
And-
example of what you're getting at.
Okay.
Just, you know.
his IEP was, he had a lot more offered to him. And it was a little bit more of a struggle for, I have another child who's on an IEP as well. It was a little bit of more of a struggle to really put her into the program that she was needed.
You don't have special needs kids, do you?
Nope.
No,
Nope,
okay.
it's an individual education plan.
So your oldest, you saw, you were happy with the performance of the schools? Did I read that
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And now a couple of others have come along and you don't see the same quality. Is that what you're saying?
I'm seeing it's hesitant. It's not as organized as it was. They were right on top of it. When Jake was on it, I'd write a letter. I'd get a response very quickly.
Okay.
Now, it takes a long time for responses.
Have I done all three challenges?
I haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
George,
yeah.
and then.
If you're doing the
I'm
challenges.
next.
I'm doing the challenges.
doing
That's
the
what I'm getting
challenges,
at.
So we're the incumbents.
So,
Oh,
Joe,
okay.
I've done you?
No,
yeah.
if you're
No,
not done,
Randy's next.
All right, and then you.
Then me.
And then the
the
two
two of us.
incumbents. Yeah,
Okay,
that's the way
great.
I want to do it.
Okay.
See, I told you I need help.
We're here
All
to
right.
help you.
This is now Randy, right?
Yes.
Okay, Randy, why are you running?
Why am I running?
Yeah.
It's, it's fairly simple. I lived in this town my whole life.
Okay.
I went through the schools in this town. You know, when we graduated, when I went through these school systems, kids were going to, in my class, I was 4 or 5 kids that went to Ivy League. There was top-rated schools throughout the country. I mean, as Georgie pointed out, schools that he was naming, I went to one of them in one of the debates.
Okay.
Now the kids today aren't getting, I don't believe they're getting the same education that I got in this town.
Really?
Absolutely not. I mean, my kids went through it, so I saw what I went through.
Yeah.
I see what they're getting for work. We had school books. We had certain things that we could, you felt more pride having a school book instead of your teacher running down Xeroxing papers so you can bring home now. Things, aren't the same in the town. I want to bring the town back to the level where it was when I was there. When I went to the Gibbon School, it was one of the top, if not the top-rated, elementary school in the state. Now it's dropped down to where it's one of the worst in the state.
Really?
Yeah, through the testing scores, things need to be changed. From when I went there, our SAT scores were, one of the best in the state. Now they're in the bottom third in the state. Kids are getting bullied, picked on. Nothing's getting done to the kids. Kids with special education, nothing. A lot of these kids are fighting.
So you want to get on the committee and try and do
Absolutely.
something about it?
It has to be changed better for the kids in this area.
Okay, Joe, did I touch you on that?
Not yet.
Okay, let's get to you then, and then we'll go to the incumbents. Your reasons for running?
My reasons for running is I was watching the school committee. I'd basically seen how they operated. I would come home and I would be frustrated, and I says, well, if I'm gonna complain about it, then I have to do something about it. So
What were your complaints?
I really feel that the school committee has abdicated their responsibility to Dr. Rizzi. I believe that me on the school committee, my job is to tell Dr. Rizzi what to do. I don't believe the school committee is doing that right now. I don't know whether there's a fraternity or a friendship or whatever it is, but I just don't think they're doing that right now. And I believe that the school committee is the guidance and basically the organizer of Dr. Rizzi, not the reverse.
Okay, so you don't see the same quality that you may have seen some years ago? Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. I mean, my kids, of course, my kids are 40,
Right,
45,
right.
47, so.
Do you challenge the incumbent school committee people when you say that, or are you sort of targeting the superintendent? I'm trying to see where you
Well,
guys are
basically,
coming
I'm
from.
targeting both of them,
Both,
okay? Because I believe the school committee should be telling Dr. Rizzi what to do,
yeah.
and I don't really see that, okay? And I think that she needs help in her direction.
Okay. And you think the quality is not what it was?
Most definitely. I mean, the West School is down to 15% of the lower levels. Okay, the Gibbon School is rated basically 3. Now, I know that that Dr. Rizzi and the principal are concerned about the numbers, and what they're basically blaming is the special eds kids. And I think that we just need to do more. Okay, we need to give them more help in helping these children do what they need to do. We have to be very, very careful with those kids that are specially challenged. All right, these are going to be our future leaders. These are going to be, and I'm hoping not, but I mean, when they become citizens, there's basically 2 directions to go. Okay, and I don't think the parents have all. I think the parents are certainly going to teach them the way to act, the religion, etc. Okay, but the school has.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Thank you.
Deborah, speaking as an incumbent, why do you want to be reelected to the school committee, and what do you think of what the challenges have said here?
I applied for the school committee when there was an opening and my daughter was in high school. At that point, she'd started in kindergarten. I'd seen her go all the way through high school. She got a very good education and went to a goes to a private, very selective college where most of the students went to private prep schools. And the education that she got is in many ways better than what some of the other students got. At the point that she was in high school, I saw that there were things that the schools did well, and also areas where I saw that they needed improvement. So that's why I applied. I was on the school committee for 1 year, and then I decided to run for election. And that was my first term. So what I've actually gotten a lot done in 3 years. I negotiated the educator evaluation law for our district, and teachers are now doing self-assessments and making improvements. I revamped I worked with the administration to revamp our budget document to connect student performance to the money that we spent. And one of the things that I'm proudest of is having led the town's effort towards a new high school. And we are now eligible for tens of millions of state money for a renovated or a new high school.
I'm going to come up to that later.
And I want to see those things through.
Okay.
So I started these things, and I want to see them through. As for what the challengers have said, I don't think that they understand. Certainly the scores have not gone down in the district. We have a very good school system. As far as the Gibbons goes, I think that the challengers misunderstand the Gibbons classification. The level, Gibbons is a level 3 focus school. That means it's not level 3 based on the entire population of the school, where the scores at the Gibbons and the growth is actually very, very good. It's focused on a program, a life skills program at the Gibbons that houses our students that have the highest needs.
Okay.
And the other thing I wanted...
Speed it up just a bit because,
okay, all right.
I don't want to cut people off. But
Yes, and the other thing I wanted people to understand is that we have to go through state-mandated training when we get elected to the school committee. And the school committee and the superintendent is a partnership. We work together, we go back and forth. And we have, at least for the members on the school committee, we have a very good partnership, and we have in place excellent district improvement plans. I mean, I could go on and on, but I'll stop right there.
No, that's fine. Judge, same thing.
Wow.
Why are you seeking re-election?
Trying to follow Deborah is very difficult. I happen to think that we have a very good school system, okay? My children graduated from the school system. They both have very good jobs. I have 2 grandchildren in the system. I'm the only one at the table here that can say that. The quality of education is evidenced by the amount of graduates going on to advanced education. When you look at a 90% graduation rate, it belies the fact that somebody is saying that we're not getting or giving the kids a good education. Last year, almost 290 kids graduated from Stoughton High. 3 went into the military, 7 went into the workforce, and the rest went on to college. And they didn't go on to slouch schools. I mean, I'll mention Randy's school again, Quinnipiac. He graduated from there. WPI, Georgia Tech, University of Florida, University of Rhode Island, UMass Amherst, some of the state schools. These are all decent schools. To turn around and say that we're not giving the kids quality education is totally wrong. You got to realize that if we had a number of kids that were dropping out, that would be different, but we don't. And they're all going on to advanced education. That's important. That's the key factor.
Okay. Starting with
Deborah.
Oh, okay.
Deborah. I got
On
it.
the,
So,
on the incumbents.
I surprised myself. Did I cut you off?
No, you
No.
did not.
Okay, okay. I got a call, I won't say from who, I know who it is. It's not just a voice in the wilderness, but they didn't want to be identified. And they said, quote, I've noticed, meaning them, I've noticed, they said to me on the phone, that the present school committee gave the school superintendent what this person heard was a large salary increase several years ago, and then fairly recently, the same person gets her contract renewed, the superintendent, and at a rather generous raise. Can we respond to that?
Let me-
I thought
Starting
that I
with
was
you,
beginning.
Ann.
Oh,
if
you're
you
starting
don't
off.
mind.
Starting
No,
with
that's
you,
fine.
Deborah,
Yes,
right.
and then, so
I remember something about that too. It seems as though
Right.
they had hired her, and then short time later they gave her another increase, and I thought, what's that all about?
No. So here's what actually happened.
All right.
Dr. Rizzi was hired. She was a new superintendent at the time, and she was hired at a very low salary.
Oh, okay.
When she was, and that was actually right before the recession began. So she actually refused raises for 2 years.
Her first 2 years here?
Actually, her second and third year.
Okay.
In 2008 and 2009,
Okay.
I believe it was, but she refused to take a raise for 2 years. So that definitely put her behind. But the other thing is that she is a talented superintendent. She has vision about where she wants to take the district in 5-10 years. She does a wonderful job budgeting, and we have an absolutely superb district improvement plan. Now, at the time that we did her review, and this was a couple of years ago, the school district, and one of the ways that you figure out, you do a salary survey, and you look at what other superintendents are paid for a variety of factors, but one of them is the size of the district.
Okay.
So
You have to speed it up a bit.
Okay, all right. So at the size, so at the time, Stoughton's size rank was number 62, about 4,000 students, but our salary rank was 148. So she definitely needed to be brought up, and at that point, we gave her a large salary increase. Now, since then, what she's gotten is 2% increases. So there's not been a second.
Okay.
There's just been normal increases
Okay,
since
I think
then.
that answers that question. George, on the
And
same?
Following Deborah makes it very difficult,
Well, I know.
Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, the person who called you, whoever it may be, yes, we did give the person a raise. And when she forgave, she did not take a raise for 2 years. Looking at the finances of the town, the woman had vision, okay? And when we turned around and negotiated something else, when the committee negotiated and looked at the salary ranges, some were a lot higher, some were a lot lower than what she was making, and some of them a lot more than what she was making,
Okay.
and we gave her an increase. We also extended a contract another year. We're on the verge of getting a new school. To change horses in midstream is totally ridiculous.
Okay.
And you want to keep somebody who's good, who's active, who's working for the town, who has the vision, like Deborah said. This is important. And we want to keep this woman here. And like I said, changing horses in midstream, totally wrong. Totally wrong.
Okay, good answers. Randy, on this, am I proceeding right
You
here?
did the two incumbents.
So you want to know what we think of her salary raise?
Yes. I
What
wanna
was
see.
what was her salary before the salary raise?
28,000, oh, I'm sorry.
28,000?
No,
I don't think it was
no,
28,000.
I guess I'm
Never
looking to see if you think she's worth what she's getting.
Do I think she's worth $180,000 a
That's
year?
not what she gets paid.
That's-
Then what does she get paid?
72 right now.
172,000. Okay, so I'm off by 8,000.
And that's comparable to every other,
172,000
and that's comparable to
To-
other school systems.
to what school system?
Foxborough,
Okay.
And
Is
there's
our
others.
scores the same as Foxborough's, or
Canton.
are they lower?
Canton.
Are they scores the same or are they lower? I can answer the question. We're lower than theirs, right?
You want to look at per
So,
capita
I mean-
income? Look at per capita income in each
Yeah.
of
But
those
I mean- I
towns.
mean, so,
Don't
I
throw
mean,
things out,
I'm
Randy,
just
that
I'm
have no
asking,
basis of
but I'm
facts.
asking a question.
Yeah.
Are
Look
our
at
school system
affluence,
the
Randy.
same? But I'm asking, is the same question? I mean, if we're gonna, do I think she's worth 172,000? I don't think a lot of people are worth 172,000. I'm not talking to her. I'm talking. We
Except
get
you
into,
and me,
we-
right?
If we start getting into what people get paid, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not. I mean, is she the highest paid person in the town?
Do you
I
have an
think she
opinion,
is.
overall opinion of the superintendent, quality-wise or not?
Quality-wise, my opinion, honestly, I'd have to see her work a lot more. Do I think she's doing a good job now? No. Do I have to see more work from her?
That-
Absolutely.
What do you need to see?
Before I can make, a decision on whether or not to ever get rid of someone, I'd have to work with the person.
Well, let them go
You know,
around.
I mean,
Joe,
I'd have to
think,
work with someone before I can say, yep, they're gone.
on the superintendent, on this issue.
All right, on the superintendent, when they gave her a $28,500 increase, she was already under contract. I didn't see any reason at all why she should have gotten that money. That money is equivalent to a brand-new car every year.
Yeah.
Okay, also, at that particular time, there was that the teachers had a no confidence in Dr. Rizzi. And also, and that was one of my concerns, did anybody check to see what the teachers at that particular time felt about Dr. Rizzi? Well, what I found out later on, and this was in December, that they still had a no confidence in Dr. Rizzi because they had a survey with 200 teachers.
At what point in her career in Stoughton did this occur? This
That
survey?
occurred in December of last year.
How long had she
It
been?
did not actually. It
Yes, it did.
occurred, what, the
Was it
union,
December?
the union no confidence vote?
2013.
It
Oh,
was
no, no,
not.
there was two of them.
No, there was not.
Yes, there was.
There was not.
They had
There
one-
was one union vote, and that was during the last contract negotiations.
Okay,
And that is a tactic that unions will use to try to get the citizens of a town to lose confidence in the school committee and superintendent. I mean,
So is it a
I mean,
tactic that
this
we
is a
break the law and not give
strategy.
them
This
money?
is a strategy.
was there another
It's
survey?
a union
Was
strategy.
there another survey after that?
I have no idea.
Well, I was there, okay, in December.
You were at the union meeting?
No, I was never at any union meetings. They had a survey in December, and it was Pires. She is the union representative. She took a survey with 200 of the teachers. It wasn't a full 400, because there's 400 teachers there. 200 teachers, okay? And one of the questions was, do you have confidence in the superintendent? It was 92% of the 200 teachers that had no confidence in the superintendent. Also, there was a question asked, do you have confidence in the school committee? It was about a 93% that they had no confidence in the school committee. Now, and I got that right off the internet.
Okay.
The
So-
reason is why is that we're in the middle of contract negotiations. This is a strategy that's used to make negotiations go in their direction. I mean, this is like a playbook. You turn a page, no confidence vote of the superintendent. You turn the page, postcards. You turn the page. This, I mean, what it is, it's about, it's tactics to try to get more money. That's what it is.
Well, Deborah, I guess I'm of the opposite opinion. There is 92% of the teachers also want to leave the Stoughton school system.
That's totally wrong.
Now-
That is totally wrong.
This is,
I'm sorry, I
No,
can't accept
no,
that. That's
no.
a
I'm
baloney
talking
statement.
That is
200.
untrue.
Now-
90%
is
of the
untrue.
teachers
No,
want to leave the
no,
school system?
no.
You are so wrong.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about the 200 teachers.
I'm sorry.
No,
That
you're
is
wrong.
absolutely not
That's
true.
okay,
Totally
then we'll
wrong.
agree
You
to
are
disagree.
wrong about that.
Then
No.
we'll agree to disagree.
This isn't about disagreement.
That's
It's
fine.
wrong.
That's
Fair
fine.
enough.
When
Now,
you-
the point is this is a philosophical point. Now, we know that 92% of the teachers aren't going to leave. We understand that. But the point is they're not feeling comfortable within their job. And that's the important thing. So what does that say? That says that maybe in time, they can leave when the positions open up.
Okay.
Dick, let me just interrupt one thing.
Quickly.
Take a look at the Sunday newspaper and the amount of teachers, the ads for teachers in the newspapers. We're not losing all those teachers. We have teachers that have spent their own careers here. They're not all walking out on us. The fact that he's coming out with a statement that 92% of the people don't have confidence in the superintendent and that 92% are leaving, that's wrong.
That's
and
hogwash,
you want to put out false
absolutely.
statements because you're running for office. That's not right.
This
And
was
I
not
take
my
umbrage
survey.
with that statement.
All right.
This was not my survey.
Okay. I'll direct this to the 3 challenges. Usually, and I've been around all my life, a long time in the town, there's usually not many races on a school committee. And I'm directing this just at the 3, initially at the 3 challenges. Are you all kind of not satisfied with what's going on? And how, with a raising of hands, do you think that, are you satisfied with the superintendent from what you hear and read about? Yes or no? Yes would be yes, you are, and you think she's doing a good job?
No, I do not.
And no.
No.
So none of you feel that the superintendent is doing
I
a good
feel
job?
like
I'm
you
just
need
trying to
to-
pin
yeah.
some, so with the, in
Katie never got
respect,
a chance to answer your last question. either.
who?
Katie never got a chance to answer your last question.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Go ahead. Well,
I
that's why I
just-
need somebody like you, so.
I just
Get outta
feel
here.
that we need a strong leader, and we need someone that,
Strong leader on the committee?
no, a strong leader as a
Superintendent?
superintendent.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry.
the relationship between the superintendent and teachers is strained, and it needs to be mended for us to go forward, I believe.
The 3 challenges, you seem to have similar views. Have you gotten together and discussed how you feel about these things?
I actually haven't
No, none of us.
met with
Okay.
them. I mean, I know.
Oh, no, we've,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
no,
they,
we've,
Ray,
I've-
Katie and I have
they,
talked. I apologize.
they've talked. I mean,
Okay.
I'm on my own. But
Well,
I mean,
I'm just
they have.
curious as to why we have a race that usually the incumbents run for re-election without
But
any opposition.
But Randy and I have not talked. I don't know if
Right.
Randy has talked to Katie or not. I have no idea.
Okay, okay. George, you want to get in on
Yeah,
this?
let me just say this.
Yeah.
Deborah and I'm not going to speak for Deborah, but she and I work with the superintendent. We see the quality that we have.
Right.
Okay, I've seen how many superintendents in my tenure in the running and being involved in town. We had Dr. Murray, we had Tony Sarno, we had Claire McCarthy,
They were all
we
sort of
had
just
Jeff
filling in,
Fanders.
though, weren't they?
But they were there. They also made decisions. Some of them were better than others. And now we have somebody that's dynamic. And you know and I know, as an employee somewhere, a lot of times you get a new boss and you don't like the fact that they're adhering to what the programs are or the rules are. And all of a sudden, you've been able to get away with certain things. And now all of a sudden you cannot because somebody's making you toe the line, per se. There is resentment.
Well-
And we've all seen this in our employment somewhere
Yeah.
along the line.
Yeah.
So to sit here and knock and bash the superintendent, I mean, you can do this from morning to night. It's not going to change anything. The teachers want to work for us. They are doing a great job. They're producing a very good product, okay? And the key is the fact that we do have a very good school system managed by the superintendent and the associate and the staffs of the schools, including the principals and the teachers.
Dick, I would like to get a chance to reply now to what the 3 challenges
Real
have said
quick.
and
Yeah,
the questions.
that's fair.
And that is that you certainly can't say we don't have a strong superintendent. So that's
Yeah.
absolutely not true. And that is actually one of the keys to success in any school district is having a strong school administrative team. And
Okay.
that's true for the overall district administration as well as principals. Now, we have an administration that is far ahead of implementation of the new Common Core that's coming down. And a lot of teachers, and my sympathies are with them, there are a ton of state mandates that come down the pike, and they have a lot of requirements. They now have a very elaborate evaluation system that they're all subjected to. Changes in curriculum. lots of new programming. There are a lot of changes going on in the schools, and that's tough for everybody.
All right, I have to cut you there, but I think it appears to me that the three challenges here have some real reservations about the quality of the education. By nodding your heads, is that, am I reading that right? All
Absolutely.
three?
Yes.
And the two incumbents feel that the quality is still there. Just to paint the right picture,
There are
have
always
I got it right?
improvements that need to be made, but yes,
Okay.
we have a very good school system.
I'm looking at the time, and we have to. That was good, though. I think we've got an idea where you people stand. Here's another one that is in the same basket, I guess. I think I'm starting here with
George.
George. Oh, I almost got that one on my own, Judge.
Well, we'll give you credit.
It happens every once in a while.
This is sort of tied in with, so that kind of gives me an answer as to why we got three challenges when a lot of times we don't. They don't seem to be very satisfied with what's going on, and you guys think it's really good. Okay. Could all candidates, and we're starting with George here, and try and cut down because we're getting down on the time if we can. Could all the candidates respond to my question as to whether a new high school and or a new South School should be constructed or just undergo some improvements and updating? What are your thoughts on our physical school plant in general and the facilities? Are we shortchanging our kids? Starting with you, George. A lot of money involved in this.
Dick, I think is a very good question, okay? We do need a new school. We have a school that's falling apart around us. And I gotta give credit to the teachers that are working within the system to be able to produce the product that they're giving us right now in the facilities that are not the best. We got part of a school that is not handicapped accessible, windows that leak, et cetera, et cetera. We do need a school that's been, and Deborah can, as the leader in the charge for the new school, can speak more clearly on this than I will, but at the same time, I don't want to take any thunder away from her, but we do need the new school, and it took us a while to get into the system. The South School also is falling a little bit behind, and we're trying to get that. There's a lot of things going on. You can't have a stagnant building. You got to do something.
Got to have shorter answers. I'm coming right to you, Randy, but
All right.
I want to make my thing that's bothering me very much here.
Right.
For
How's
those
that,
who
sorry?
have
The
just
halfway mark.
tuned in, I want them to know that this program will be seen this Wednesday and Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. And we've run into a real snag, which I didn't know about when I came into the studio. The selectmen are, starting early starting earlier, I guess. So if you've tuned in at 6 o'clock and found the selectmen on, I guess you'll have to look at it. But it will be on in its entirety, 7 to 8 on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Okay. Now, Randy.
All right, and we got to make these quick. I went to high school. It needs a lot of improvements from when I was there. So I mean, I know we need to figure out how, as a town and community, to pay for it. But yes, we do need a new facility to give our kids the best education that we can get.
I'm giving you the award for brevity, and that counts a lot with me. Joe.
Okay, yes, do we need a new high school? My God, yes, all right? Building A is falling apart, we understand, okay?
Yep.
But here's the problem. We need a new high school, we need a new South School, we need a new fire and police, and we need a new library, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know how we get to do all of that. What I want to see is a 20-year plan. We need it, and we need it badly.
About the physical plant?
About the
primarily?
physical, because these are all primary these are all
Yeah.
high capital items.
Okay.
I'm done.
Kate?
Yes, we need a new high school. We need to have labs that accommodate these high school students that can go above and beyond with the right tools. We also need an elementary school for our South students too.
Okay. Incumbents briefly.
Okay.
Looking at Deborah.
All right, so we have town-wide facilities master plan. And since 2010, the school committee has been implementing the recommendations of the facilities master plan, and for all of our repairs as well as new buildings. The problem with the high school, and I want to make this clear, is not that it needs repairs. It needs $24 million worth of repairs. The problem is that the facility is outdated. So you have a situation in which some students may be taking a physics class and in a physics lab doing experiments, and right next door, the same physics class, the students are reading about the physics experiments, creating an inequitable education.
Okay. Did I hit everybody on that?
Yes.
You did.
Okay.
Can we rebut on that a little bit?
What's that?
Can we rebut on that a little bit?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
just briefly.
Just briefly, if we take a look at Harvard University, I think it was one of the selectmen who said they have old buildings, and they do. They have 200-year-old buildings. But the one thing that Harvard does do is that they have a person, and it's maybe every 5 or 10 years, whatever it is, they refurbish their buildings.
Okay.
So what they're doing is they're keeping up with it. All right? And that's something that we need to do, but we haven't done it.
Well, you said the key thing. They do it every 1 to 5 years. If it hasn't been done in 30, 40 years, it might not be feasible to do in this town anymore. It just might need the new building.
So the problem is not that the building needs repairs. The fact is that building is outdated. 20 years ago, you didn't have a requirement where nearly all of the grades need to take lab science. You certainly have that requirement. A lot more is done in each of the classrooms. You simply need more room. There is a whole list of programming that Senator Joyce asked me for that goes on for 2 pages that shows how outdated the building is. So the problem is not maintenance. As a matter of fact, we will likely get bonus points for the quality of our school maintenance program.
Dick, let me just add one other thing to what Deborah said.
Yeah, and then
When
I'm
we
going to
had the
swing around
survey,
quick. Yeah.
when the state came in and surveyed the schools, excuse me, one of the things that we got complimented on was the maintenance of the facilities in the condition that they are. We have a phenomenal staff of people that maintain the facilities.
Keeping them going, huh?
Keeping them going
Yeah, okay.
under adverse conditions. And to compare us to Harvard, which is nice, Harvard has millions of dollars sitting there that they can use any way they want.
Okay.
Stoughton does not have the millions Harvard has.
They had surveys, okay, and I was in one of the groups that have surveys. What did they show me? They showed me the assistant principal's job, the assistant principal's office, and it leaks water. Then they took us downstairs, and it leaks water. And then they took us over where the library was, and it leaks water, okay? And the
Okay.
books were getting wet with water.
Okay.
Now, why aren't they repairing the minimum requirement is stopping the leaks in the high school? But yet they use that as a reason that we should replace the building.
No,
Okay.
that's
That's
not
not
the
tr-
reason. The reason is that the building is outdated. It certainly needs a $7 million roof alone, and the building is being repaired. But at this point, you have a brick facade where the entire facade needs to be taken down
Okay.
and repaired, and there's water infiltration. So the issue is not maintenance. The building is repaired as needed.
I'm looking at the time. Show of hands among all 5. How many agree that maybe we don't need new schools, but we need some real updating? Hands up that you think the schools are in need of some remediation? That's what I mean.
What do you mean, all the schools or certain schools?
The 2 schools that I named, the
Do
South
you mean
and the high
that
school.
house school, the
South and the
okay.
high school. Should some monies be expended there to take care of, inadequacies?
The immediate inadequacies, as you use the word, are being addressed. Okay? When you plug a leak in one spot, the chances are somewhere along the line,
Okay.
that leak is going to travel
Well,
somewhere else.
I know, but
water is going to find
All
the
right.
weakest point.
Okay.
You can only do so much. To spend millions of dollars on putting on a new roof on a school that possibly and
All
I'm
right.
saying is going to be
I'm
replaced.
watching that time, and it's
Okay,
fast
I'm talking as
disappearing.
fast as I possibly can.
Did I
But-
get everybody on that?
I think so.
Okay. I kind of sometimes think this goes on, and let's just do quick comments from here on. We had that little toy gun incident that surfaced on my show in the past year. And it seems to me that sometimes when something like that goes on, the school committee seems to be reluctant to put out anything that may have a negative connotation to it.
Something like what?
Well,
Specifically.
that the toy gun had been brought into the school, at the West School. And that surfaced from another member of the committee who's not here on my show. And it became quite a discussion within the town. And the school committee had not let this be known that this had occurred within the school system. And people thought
Well,
that
I mean,
So are you gonna start with
when things have happened in the junior high,
Yeah.
my daughter is there,
Yeah.
we actually get a call from the principal. They send out a notification to all the parents that are in that school. So, I
Okay.
mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
that's all as a parent I would need. I don't think the schools committee at that point needs to.
Don't you think the town should know that
No.
an
About
incident
what-
like that?
No.
You
But,
don't think
no.
so?
if it's a small little toy gun, no.
It turned out
really-
to be.
But
Yeah.
it really doesn't need to. The whole town doesn't need to get in an uproar because we don't know what happened. I mean, if it was a real gun, yeah, I guarantee you it would have been a different situation. It's
Yeah.
a case by case basis.
All right.
I mean, if someone brings a real gun, that's one thing. Someone brings a toy gun, you know what? The kid gets dealt with, and it's
Well, all right, okay.
Excuse me, Dick, but you can make a mountain out of a molehill.
Okay,
And if it's handled properly and the child is disciplined and people know what's going on and the child is taken care of and explained why that's not right.
Okay.
Whether it be a toy
Okay.
gun or it
Okay.
happens to be a penknife or whatever the case may be.
There are also privacy issues, Dick. You want to be
Yeah.
really careful with the information that you put out there, that you don't let the town know or give any clues as to, that child's identity.
what I'm getting
We
at
really
here
need to
is,
protect our children.
what I'm getting here, maybe that was the wrong example to use, but it seems as though the school committee in general is very reluctant to put out anything that is of a negative nature. Do some of the challenges tend to agree with this?
Can you give a specific
No,
example?
I don't have any specifics.
Well,
just,
why don't we move on to a different question then?
no, I'd like to see what the different candidates would say about that.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, it really would depend on the situation of what happens,
The
on
severity.
what would need to.
Well,
what
I'm
needs to
asking
go
the
out.
two incumbents then. Are you
know.
reluctant to put out, negative things that are going on? You seem to be, everything is great, listening to
No,
you here.
I'm not
on
No,
saying
we
that
committee.
didn't say
everything is
that.
great. No one's saying that everything is great. There isn't a school system on the face of this earth that can't use improvement.
Right.
That's absolutely
mean,
true.
But
The one thing,
Go ahead.
if you want to go negative, positive, as a parent inside the given school,
Yeah,
when it dropped to a level 3 school, legally, we were supposed to be notified as a parent in that school that it dropped to a level 3. And whether it was the school committee responsibility, or whether it was the superintendent's responsibility, whether it was the principal of that school's responsibility, none of the parents were told about it.
Okay.
And legally, we were supposed to be allowed to tell about it. We were supposed to have
Yeah.
the decision of whether or not we were allowed to go, whether we wanted to try to pull our kid out of the school, so if the other schools had other
And-
things.
and I
I'm
will
not done
say-
talking
okay,
yet.
all
So
right.
we should be allowed to actually have known that information, not have heard it from everywhere else. We should have heard it either from
Thank you.
the proper person that it was supposed to be told. Whether it was the school committee, whether the superintendent, whether it was the principal, it wasn't told to us as
And-
people in the
I
And
town.
hear-
I will say that that is absolutely not true. At the same time,
So
the information.
we got
at the same
notified?
time-
We didn't get notified.
In November.
We
At
did not.
the-
We were supposed to be notified before school started, so we
no,
had the choice.
no,
Yes,
you
we
were
are.
not.
Absolutely,
No,
yes, we are.
no.
Because it
That
is. We are
information
supposed to be
was
allowed to
not
have the choice
public.
of whether or not it is public.
It's-
We are supposed to
it
be
was
allowed
not
to have.
public
No, we
at the
are
time.
supposed to be allowed to have the choice.
Randy.
No, we are supposed to be allowed to have the choice.
Randy, at the same
But
time.
we're supposed to be allowed to have the
Why
choice.
don't you
True or
agree to
false?
disagree?
The same time that the information became public, the parents
During the summer.
were told.
It was during the summer the information became
The
public.
information did not become public in the summer. Did
Oh,
not.
wait, become public. That means everyone else knew, but you guys already knew the answer. So
Yes,
So
that
we-
information
so
was
in other words, you
embargoed.
guys broke
That
the law and
information
not
was-
told the parents
No,
of the school.
no,
Yes.
no. As
Because if you
soon
guys had
as
that
that
information, you were supposed to tell the
Randy,
parents of that school.
Randy, let me tell you that there is a lot of information that we are privy to that is
Yes,
not
but
to be
legally
made
you're
public.
supposed to tell the
No,
parents.
Yes, And
But
they
you
were
didn't
told,
do that,
no,
correct?
That is not correct.
Did
At
you
the
tell the
same
parents
time-
before the
yes,
school started?
that
Did
is-
you tell parents before the school started, yes or no?
No.
Okay,
because
so in
the
other words, you broke the law of the
No,
people's right to
no,
the kids.
That's absolutely
Yes,
not
you
true.
did break.
When the
If you
information
knew
became
about it during the
public-
summer,
no.
no. If you knew about it
No.
during the
Okay.
summer, then
When
yes,
the
you had to
information
tell us.
became public,
But
End
that's
of
public for
discussion.
everyone to know. But that's not.
No.
But if you guys knew the information, we
But
were all
the
supposed to know.
information was not
absolutely.
public.
Randy.
That's because you knew. Everyone was supposed to know the information. once
Randy.
Parents were allowed to
there
have a
were
choice.
plans put
You
in
had to
Parents were
say-
supposed to have the choice.
and
Parents
did
were
have
allowed
a
the choice, and they were
Well,
never given that choice.
When I say about negative things,
Randy, you're absolutely
you
right.
hear
I'm
in the
absolutely right.
community- You hear in the community in recent years, a lot of fights going on in the schools, at the junior high and the high school. You hear about drug transactions occurring and so forth. We don't seem to hear about these things from the school committee when they meet. At least I don't. And I'm just wondering if anything of a negative nature is, the committee just decides not to put that out to the public. Judge,
There have
what
been
do you
some,
say about that?
we've had various instances where we've had lockdowns in the schools.
Yeah.
And they've brought in dogs, the drug sniffing dogs
Right,
and everything
right.
else, and they found nothing. They found nothing.
But they
And
have
it's-
had
It
fights.
may
in-
have been, Dick, let me tell you something. I went to high school in New York City. I went to a school that had 4,000 kids.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. You had to learn how to fight, right?
You had to learn, first off, you had to know who to be friends with also. But at the same time,
Believe it.
the same thing happened in any school. You'll have a kid that gets in a fight. Does it have to be blasted all over the creation? Absolutely not.
All right.
There's a disciplinarian in
Okay.
the schools that handles that situation.
Just
and
got
it
the
is being
5-minute
done.
signal. So I'm going to start right down there with Joe, go around. Anything that you wanted to say prior to this, you've got about a minute to bring up right now. That's the best I can do. We're down to 4.5 minutes.
Well, the drug and the bullying problem, okay? I think the police
Yeah.
department, the Stoughton Police Department, I think they've done a very good job with that.
Okay.
I believe that there's probably either 2 or 2.5 police that do take care, protect our schools, et
Yep.
cetera. And as far as the bullying is concerned, they do get involved in that too. So I wanted to pat the police department on the back because they've done a great job in that specific area.
Okay. Just final thoughts on school stuff.
Well, I'd appreciate everyone's vote on April 8th. The school stuff, you meaning like the transparency? I think there needs to be more transparency in the school committee.
Okay, quickly, very briefly.
I have worked for 4 years for positive change. I've run a clean campaign. I've not resorted to any smear tactics, and I want to continue positive change. Stoughton's at a crossroads. I want to continue the initiatives that I started, and I would like your vote on April 8th. Thank you.
Judge?
I'm looking for your vote also. There's only 2 of us that can get in. I am the senior member of this group of 5.
You
I've
certainly
served the
are.
town very well. I've been involved. There are things that I want to see go forward, and at the same time, it's not going to happen overnight, but people have to realize that we are working very diligently as a committee to do the right thing for the kids.
Randy?
I grew up in this town. I love this town. My kids go to school in this town. I would love to see you have you vote on April 8th. Is there a lot of things that need to be changed inside this town, inside the school system? Absolutely. As far as the bullying, yes, the police do a great job when they're involved in it, but I believe a lot of the bullying that happens gets swept under the rug and the police never even find out about it. I believe there's a lot of things that go on inside that schools that they try to hide from the police and try to get other people involved into it. I mean, if I get on, I know of incidents upon incidents of people coming up telling me what happens to their kids inside the schools and nothing gets done.
Do we
Things
have
need to get changed.
Do we have any time left at all?
Oh, you cut me off.
1 minute. Okay. Has anybody got something they could do in 30 seconds?
I do want to say that from
You got 3
kindergarten
minutes.
through
You got 3
the
minutes.
end of high school.
3 minutes? Oh, sorry.
From kindergarten through the end of high school, there is a anti-bullying program where children are taught empathy, taught how to behave and treat other children. So that has been in place, and that is a model.
All right, about a half a minute. You've had yours from Joe and from the other 4. Just anything at all you thought would be worth bringing up.
Well, bullying is always a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Right.
I think what we basically need is some type of a list all right, that if somebody has been attached to bullying,
Yeah.
then they should go on the list, and then they should contact the parents and talk about it.
30 seconds. Kate?
Yeah, there's always issues with bullying. I
Well, not
believe-
just on that. If there's
Oh.
anything that you thought should have come up, you got about 20 seconds to just raise it.
Oh, well, I think that the school committee needs to be a little more transparent, and I believe that they need to involve parents more, and I believe that a communication between teachers and school committee is needed.
Okay, Randy?
George?
Anything
George.
that didn't come
Well,
up?
George-
George is
me.
next. George is next.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's a lot of things that do go on in the schools. I think we have the right staff, we have the right people in place, we have the cooperation, like Joe said about the police department working in the schools. We've done everything that has to be done. There are plans in place, systems in place, procedures in place to handle all these things, whether it be bullying, it be sexual harassment, however you want to talk about it, it's being covered and handled in the schools the way it's supposed to be handled.
Randy, you get the last word.
All right. Well, if I get the last word, this could be interesting.
Very quickly.
Okay. Well, I've known a kid that's gotten their leg broken. Nothing was done to that kid. I've known a kid that has gotten their kid
Done in the school system?
done inside the school. I've known a kid that's had their pants pulled down in the middle of the thing. Nothing was done to that kid. So if there's a system in place that's being followed, I love to see it because you know what? I know it's not being followed to the T.
Okay, all right, okay. Good session, I think.
Thank you, Dick.
Are we done,
Thank
Mike?
you very much for hosting us.
Okay.
Dick, you're right. You are the best.
I didn't say that.
We all did, Dick. We all said that.
Was
You're
it all
the-
right?
Thank
You
you.
were very
It was very
good.
good.
Thank
Really?
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'll vote for all of you.
Thanks, okay.
I'll watch
All
it
right.
You better go in there a few times for that.
If you do, I want to know